Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and especially you nephew, welcome back to another Riftbound video. And today we got another card breakdown video. So in the last video I did talk about gameplay that we had with I'm forgetting who we played with. I believe it was Darius and Lucian. Which I do still have the gameplay of, but I think I'm just gonna scrap that video because those decks are essentially outdated now. There are 86 new cards that have been added to the sim. So it's a big chunk that should have been in those deck lists, but we didn't have them in English until now. There are still, I'll show you guys right now. There are still some cards that haven't been translated yet, like the signature spells for Fiora, Severe here, and Renata Glask, and what's this man's name? It's not Lux. Lux is not his name. Ezreal, also for Azir as well. Oh, there's actually a couple more for Jax, it looks like, that hasn't been translated yet, so we're still waiting on those. And obviously even more cards to be revealed when the full set is revealed. But even without those, there's still 86 cards that I was not able to put into those deck lists. So I'm probably just going to scrap those videos because it'll be a little bit outdated and probably definitely more better deck builds that you can make with those leaders with these new cards. So in the future, I don't know if I'm going to keep making videos like that because they do, as it's shown now, they do become outdated really fast. So I might not make those type of videos anymore. But for now, since we got these new cards, let's go over these. Let's go over these battlefields first because there's only a few of them, and let's break it down in sections. So we have 4 new battlefields. Orn's Forge, which says while you control this battlefield, the first friendly non-token gear played each turn costs 1 less. That's cool. So Ornn is the leader that what is it? You tap him to make a power rune cost to play a gear, sort of like Kaisa of the first set, where you tap her to get the recycle rune of a spell, but Ornn is for gear. So this also helps you make the actual energy cost of them cheaper. So with this one here, if you are in control of this will cost 1 and 1 recycled rune. But if you have the Ornn effect, this would just cost 1, and then you can tap your leader for that recycled cost. So this would just be a 1 cost gear, which is cool. But it's cool. It says while you are in control of this battlefield. So if you are defending, and if you have any of these, no. So there are some gears with the effect Quick Draw, which means they have reaction, which means they can be played as you defend. So even this one, like a Darius build, not Darius, Draven build, where you're running the spinning axis, and if you have control over this, and they attack into you, even your spinning axis will cost that 1 less because you have control over this battlefield, which is really cool. Next we have Power Nexus. It says when you hold here, you may pay 4 recycled runes to score a point. Okay. So you can hyper D-ramp to score a point, and this is probably extremely good for closing out games early. Much like whatchamacallit, the Grand Plaza, where if you hold here with 7 or more units, you win the game. If you are holding here at 6 points, or at 5, yeah. If you're defending here at 6 points, your opponent is incentivized to go into this battlefield so that you can't hold again, getting a 7th and then paying this 4 recycle room to get the 8th point. That's probably more what this would be used for, because there is one deck that helps you get runes back, or that will reduce that value of spending all your runes. Let me check real quick. There's a leader that does it. Yeah, here. It says when you recycle a rune, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token exhausted. So you can use this technically with her if you are ramping well enough to go back for 4 runes, but it probably wouldn't be necessary. And all the cards are lost. GG's. Okay. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. The next battlefield we have is Ravenbloom Conservatory. It says when you defend here, reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a spell, put it in your hand. Otherwise, recycle it. That's not bad. When you defend here, reveal the top card of your main deck. Okay, so it can help you get through your deck faster if you're specifically looking for spells. The thing is, it doesn't. It says you have to recycle it, which can be bad. If you are actually looking for units and you recycle a unit and the next card you draw is a spell. But for, unfortunately, decks like Kaisa probably will thrive in a deck like this, or with the battlefield like this. So sure, some Kaisa support. That's what we needed. But it's not an overall bad card to cycle through your deck like that. I'm trying to think of the current leaders that actually I can't really think of any current leaders that help do this. Maybe Rek'Sai? No, not really. Yeah, I can't really think of any current I keep saying leaders, legends that is helped a lot by this besides Kaisa and Annie, but those are old legends. So that's an interesting choice because this isn't even targeting gears, which seem to be the main focus of this set. This is only for spells. So even gears you would have to recycle to the bottom of your deck. But yeah, still a good battlefield. The next one we have is Treasure Hoard. It says when you conquer here, you may pay 1 to play a gold gear token exhausted. So that's pretty good. It's very interesting how this gold seems to be very easily accessible across all the colors, which I think is good. There's not one color that really well, I shouldn't say that. There probably is a color that will definitely excel in creating gold, but it's not like it's limited to only that color or only 1 or 2 of those colors. And this just makes it even easier for decks that can use some gold, that doesn't have no gold generators in their deck to have the battlefield to do it. But that's it for the battlefields. As for right now, pretty good. This one's very interesting. I'm excited to see how people play around this. Especially, actually, this probably is perfect for Renata Glask, because she makes a lot of gold. So then by the time you get to turn 6, you just use your gold to score that extra point. Or you don't even need to be at turn 6. You just use your gold early to accelerate the game in your favor that way. Should we go over let's go over spells first. I'm gonna hold you guys on the units. I know. You gotta watch to the end though. Or fast forward, but don't do that. So for the spells, we have Drag Under. It's action speed. It says it costs 2 less if you play it anywhere other than your hand, and kill a unit at a battlefield. So it's normally a 5 with a recycle, but it can be a 3 with a recycle if it's outside of your hand. This yellow makes me think Rek'Sai. Let me double check Rek'Sai's effect. Top 2 cards. Yeah, it's just top 2 cards of your main deck. So it can be, it doesn't have to be units. And you can just play any of them. So if it pops up on this Rek'Sai search, it costs 2 less. And then I think this does the same thing. He only signature spell, so it'll cost 2 less. And then there are other cards that also look allow you to play it other from your hand, like from the trash, and in certain decks. I think purple decks do a lot of that, playing from the trash. So if there's a purple yellow that I'm not thinking of right now, this could also have some unity there, or I'm forgetting the word for it. It's too late. Anyways, Bonds of Strength, reaction speed, and you have a repeat cost for 2. Give 2 friendly units +1 this turn. Huh. Is this not just a worse back-to-back? Um, Give 2 friendly units each +1 this turn with a repeat. Yeah, that's just the worst back to back. I don't know what. And back to back is yellow as well. Is it not a reaction? I'm so confused about this card. What is I guess the repeat means you can target something twice. So like, no, because this can't go into because she's green and purple. Irelia is what I'm thinking of, but she's green and purple, so this can't go into an Irelia deck. This is a very strange card because back to back is just give 2 units +2 might for 3. If you want to do that with this, you have to pay 4. That's interesting. That's interesting. We'll have to keep an eye out on that one. Downwell. Return all units and gears to the owner's hand. So a bounce spell for 8 and 2 recycles. So this is sort of like yes, bounce spell for all units and gears. It's not bad. It's kind of expensive, but I guess it has to be a board wipe for gear for units and gears. I'm stupid. It is simply a board wipe. I don't know why units was not registering in my head, but yeah, I understand why it's 8. Now 8 and 2 recycles, because that will just essentially clear the board state. It can help you get back into a fight if you're down so far back, especially with things like generating so much gold and these new token units. I am assuming that those things more than likely fizzle if they go back to hand. I have to check the official rules about that, but yeah, this will definitely help you reset the field, especially if you're behind. To hopefully slow down your opponent into a position that you can get back into the game with. Next we have Switcheroo. It's a hidden card but the regular cost is 2 and 2 recycles for purple. But for action speed, and it says swap the mites of 2 units at the same battlefield this turn. So that's a decent little, excuse me, it's a decent little defense stat to put like a weak unit at a battlefield, maybe even something with a death knell, so your opponent might think you want it to die, and then reveal the switcheroo or play the switcheroo to kill whatever unit they attacked you with at a surprise. That's not too bad of a spell. Or it can be 2 friendly units as well to protect one friendly unit, and that maybe somebody is trying to target to give them a higher might if it's better from the other unit you have in the battlefield, something like that. Hard bargain, a 2-cost spell with reaction and repeat for more 2 costs. It says counter a spell unless the controller pays 2. Okay, so a counter spell for purple with the repeat, so you can make the controller pay 4 if they want to have that spell resolve. So yeah, just counter spell with a little bit of a stipulation. So it's not like green counter spells where it's just full on. You can't play this, so it's not too bad. Called Shot, which is a 0-cost event. Interesting. Action with a repeat of another recycled rune, purple rune. It says look at the top 2 cards of your main deck, draw 1, recycle the other. Okay. So sort of like stack deck. To be honest though, this might just be a worse stack deck. I mean, it's action speed. Is stack deck also action and reaction speed? Let's check this out real quick. Spells. Where are you? Stack deck is an action speed card. I think this is just the better card. You look at the top 2. I guess you can repeat this to get 4 into your deck. This one only gets 3 into your deck. But this one's recycling a rune. I guess you sort of have more when you're generating gold, but I still think stack deck might just be better. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe I am doubting the power of repeat cost with these 2 spells. It's still a good card though. To look at the top 2, draw 1, recycle the other, and then maybe even drawing 2 if you repeat this, and recycling 2. especially with decks that want to reveal cards, which we'll get into later. Next, we have marching orders. It's action spell for 3. It also has repeat for 3. It says choose a friendly unit anywhere and an enemy unit at a battlefield. They deal damage equal to their might to each other. Okay, so this one is sort of like a challenge. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I think it's challenge, where they deal their mights equal to each other. But this one has the stipulation that they don't have to be at the same battlefield. It can't be anywhere, and the opponent's units have to be at a battlefield, which isn't too bad. Here to help is another hidden card with action speed. It says you may play a unit from hand to a battlefield you control, reducing its cost by 3. So this will help you cheat out cards. Just makes sense for being in orange, which is sort of the color for ramping and cheating out units. Yeah, not too bad of a card here. And then we have Strike Down. It says choose an equipped friendly unit. It deals damage equal to its might to an enemy unit, then detach the equipment from it. Huh. That's interesting. This can go into what's his name's deck, Lucian's, because he is also orange. So, and Lucian himself has Weapon Master, so you can sort of get around that first equipment, paying that first equipment cost to attach a unit to it, then using the Strike Down to detach it, and then attaching it again if you want to, or attaching it to another unit. We still don't know how detaching equipments work outside of this card, apparently. I don't know if you have to pay to detach it or if you can just pay to reattach it to another unit. That's how it works in Magic. You just pay to reattach it to another unit. So that's how we were playing it in our past games, but don't know for sure. Next we have Premonition, 2 and 3 recycles. Oh, but it's reaction and you draw 3. That's pretty good. Especially in Renata Glass, which is blue. She will be generating that gold that you need, or to get around those 3 recycles, so you're not deramping too much in your runes, but you're still able to draw 3. That's a really strong card here. Oh, and Kaisa. God, we can never escape Kaisa. But we have Bellows Breath, 1 and 1 recycle with the repeat cost of 1 and 1 recycle. For blue, it's action speed, deal 1 to up to 3 units at the same location. Okay, so it helps you spread out a little damage here. With the repeat cost, you can deal 2 to up to 3 units at the same location, and you can even spread it out if it's a bunch of tokens there to deal 1 to 3 and then another 1 to 3. So this is actually a really good card. Once again, good for Kaisa, but good in other decks as well. This spell, Not So Fast. Reaction, counter an enemy spell or ability that chooses a friendly unit or gear. That's interesting. So this is another counter spell, a little bit more stipulations. But it does also target abilities, which is an interesting tag. So that's also like a what's his name, Yasuo, where when attacking you deal your might to a unit. If they play this Not So Fast, they can cancel that ability because it chooses a friendly unit. So that's really strong for a counter spell. Next we have Thwonk, which is an action speed with a repeat cost of 2. It says stun an attacking unit. Okay, so it allows you to stun 2 for 4. It's not bad, especially for Leona. Leona was green, right? Yeah, she was, because she has Ruin Prison. I believe she's yellow and green. I think she's yellow and green. I'm not gonna check right now. You guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. For the next spell, we have Piercing Light. You can repeat this for another 2 in a recycle. And it says deal 2 to a unit at a battlefield, then deal 2 to up to 1 other unit. Okay. So you can spread 2 around unit at a battlefield and then 1 other unit. Oh, so it doesn't have to be. So you can deal 2 to a unit at a battlefield and then deal 2 to any other unit, because that does not specify battlefield. So that's actually pretty good to spread that around, and you can repeat that to deal 4, probably hitting units at your opponent's base, or at another battlefield that you want to get into. So this is actually a pretty good spell here. Another spell, red spell we have is against the odds. Reaction speed for 2 costs is give a friendly unit at a battlefield +2 this turn for each enemy unit there. Wow. That's pretty good, especially going up against a swarm deck. Excuse me. To really win a battlefield with a lower number of units, or just, you know, sending somebody in to die. Sounds bad, but sending somebody in to die, but buffing them by that 2 for every other unit, to get rid of either very tall unit or a very wide board, just spreading your might amongst you know, wide body of people. So pretty good spell here for 2 non-recycles. Also a very rare spell for red to give +2 might. So that's not bad at all. All right, one more section before we get into units. We got gears. So gears, we have Sacred Seers. Can equip this for a recycled yellow, and it gives them +1 might and death knell to draw 1. So when I die, they get the effect to draw 1. So that's not bad. Which actually is doubly not bad, because yellow has a lot of friendly fire, for lack of a better word, to kill a unit. Which now I'm thinking of another card in Magic, Skull Clamp, I think that's what it's called, that does damage to your own unit as you equipped it, but if it dies, you draw 1. So this can be used similar to that, but it does cost a recycle, which is pretty expensive to get that effect and then kill the unit. So maybe there are some deck deck builds that will use that to the best of its ability, but it just seems pretty expensive to do some self-killing with this. Maybe this is just, you know, to give a unit +1 and then an extra effect to draw 1 if it dies in combat, getting some actual use out of them. Next we have Altar of Memories. This is when a friendly unit dies, you may exhaust me to draw 1, then put a card from your hand to the top or bottom of your main deck. Okay, this isn't bad. Like I said, yellow can kill its own units. Blade of the Ruin King, one of its costs is killing its own units. So this will trigger this Altar of Memories, and then you can draw 1 off of it, or cycle 1 from your hand off of this. To either put at the top or bottom of your main deck. So that's not bad at all. Vanguard Armory, 7 and a recycle. Really expensive gear here. But when you tap it, you can play 3 recruit unit tokens. 1 might recruit unit tokens. So this isn't bad. It's a very much board flood gear here. It is fairly expensive, but if you can get to it fast, it probably will help you a lot, especially with things like Altar of Memories and Blade of the Ruin King to kill off these units and give something +4, or attach the shears to it and give it, and then kill it, and or, you know, it'll be +2, and then, you know, you can go off there. But 3 recruit tokens is pretty good to get in 1 turn, and that can just keep being generated as long as this gear is on board, and can restand itself. And it says you can play them to different locations, so you can even fortify positions that you are in control of. And this probably makes what is that? I just said it. Y'all know I just said it. Just bear with me. Grand Plaza. You can play these 3 directly to Grand Plaza if you already are in control of it, and just force your opponent to keep trying to battle you in Grand Plaza, to ensure that you don't win the game early. Next, we got BF Sword. You equip this for a yellow recycle. No effect, but it gives +3 might, which is really strong. It is a 4 energy costed equipment though. But +3 might is pretty good. It's one off of Blade of the Ruined King, which does almost the same thing. Maybe this is just better than Blade of the Ruined King, to be honest. It's just one might off, and you don't have to kill a unit to attach it. It's pretty good. Next gear we have Last Rites. To equip this, you recycle. You recycle a purple rune and recycle 2 cards from your trash. And you can equip this to a unit. It says, when I conquer or hold, you may play a unit from your trash. You still pay its cost. Oh, that's not bad. So you can get back, well, it doesn't even have to be cheaper units if you're standing up all your runes and holding off or conquering off that. Holding would be a little bit difficult because I believe you score the hold before. I have my oh no, so you do actually awaken your exhausted runes before you get the hold point. So even if you do hold, you will have all your runes at the ready. But if you conquer, you're just probably holding your runes to get something back out of your trash. Really cool card here for purple, especially for purple, because a lot of purple is discarding, so that can be really good in a purple deck. We have Swifties, 3 and a recycle, or not 3 and a recycle, 3 a recycle to equipped, and it gives a unit ganking and +2, which I think I mentioned before, but we finally have it translated. Not bad. Bone Shiver. It says equipped for 1 and recycled orange. It says when I conquer, channel 1 rune exhausted. So similar to the Kiana, which if you stack this on top of the Kiana, you will channel a rune exhausted with this effect, and you can choose to channel another rune with the Kiana's effect, or just draw a card getting both the effects. Really, really cool. And it also gives +2, so that's not bad at all. This next gear we have is 2 and a recycle as reaction. Tap this and then pay any amount of energy to add that much rune recycles. Whoa, 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 whoa! That is strong. Can do this once, but wow! Whoa, 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 whoa! Wait, that's a lot. Especially for Fiora. Fiora might be my deck for this set. Fiora is I really like the way Fiora plays. But using this to even abilities that add resources cannot be reacted to. Yeah. So even just to float these recycled runes would be good in a Fiora deck, just to then use those floated recycled runes to attach a bunch of gears if you wanted to, or just using this to not recycle to attach and just attach a gear, and that'll make somebody mighty. Then the Fiora will trigger, and then you ramp a rune. Yeah, this is really strong. Even outside of that, just getting around power cost is extremely strong in this game, especially with the fact that there is gold in this set. Oh, this is going to be really strong. Oh, this is going to be really strong. Okay. Okay, moving on. We have Warmonger armor. It's 1 cost, but it equip cost is 1 recycle purple. It says when I conquer, buff me, and then it has +1. So this can get up to a +2, which isn't bad. You can get a buff off this unit, especially if we figure out how equipments work. If you can just keep moving this equipment around to spread out your buffs to different units, because the buff should stay on the unit, and then you can move this equipment around to continue doing that. But the conquering will have to be triggered at some point again. Although, now that I think about it, a lot of these have conquer effects. This one's conquer effect, this one's conquer effect, this one's a conquer effect. And there is a battlefield that says when you hold here, trigger your conquer effects. Actually, I should find it to make sure that it isn't It isn't just unit effects. When you hold your buff unit, yeah, it's just any conquer effect. So when you hold your activate the conquer effects, oh no, of units here. I wonder if that counts for gears because they are attached to the unit. I don't know for sure. It might. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah. Next gear is another equipment, the World Atlas, because it's for one. And then when you hold, play 2 gold gear tokens exhausted, and it gives +2 might. Not bad at all. To get even more gold. Yeah, the power in this game is going to be heavily spiked with this set, and especially introducing gold. There's going to be a lot of rich people and not a lot of recycling anymore. For this one cost experimental hex plate, equip this for 1, and it has +1 might. Oh, and that is actually an effect. It says I am a mech. So it just adds mech to its types, like this card here. See, it says unit Bandle City Yordle mech. So like if you attach it to here, it'll be the Void, and then it becomes a mech as well. That's actually really cool because we have a Rumble that's coming out. That will trigger off that. I'm not going to go look for him because I'm wasting too much time as it is. But Rumble, I forgot. I think it says when you defend, your mechs get +1 might. I believe that's his effect. So this helps you get play cards that aren't mechs, but they become mechs and are available to be buffed by your Rumble effect. Next we have Chemtech Cask. It says when it's gear. It says when you play a spell on an opponent's turn, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token exhausted. Okay, so this can, yep, Renata Glass gives the quote for this. So this definitely can go in a Renata Glass deck, but especially because she wants to hold. So you will be playing a lot of spells on your opponent's turn to make sure that your units stay alive and do hold. So this will, one, get you a gold gear token if you just try to defend. Even if you lose it, at least you still made that token. And if you do win that and do hold, then you'll make another token on your Renata Glass trigger when you hold. And it will stand. One will be ready because you made it with the Chemtech class, so that will restand on your Awaken phase. But then the one that you make with the Renata Glass effect will be exhausted. So this is just really good for Renata Glass and other decks as well. I'm going to keep saying Kaisa. It's just because Kaisa is a good deck. But yeah, she also plays spells on your opponent's turn, so you can make gold gear tokens on that turn. On your opponent's turn, which will allow you to continue to play spells on your opponent's turn as her. Whew, that's terrifying, but we'll move on. Next gear we have here is the Brutalizer. It seems to be a standard gear, but it has the added effect of if this was attached to me this turn, I have an additional +2 might. So this sort of helps you with attacking. So you sort of want to play this alongside a ready unit so that you can attack in for +3 instead of just the +1. +1 will sort of be just for defense, which isn't bad. But that's it for the gears. So finally, the moment you guys have been waiting for, the units. Let's go over the boring one first. This is the token unit. Just got a picture for the Sand Soldier, and sort of like what I was saying. So the Sand Soldier itself does not have a Weapon Master. Only Azir, who has that extra tag on his leader effect, give these units Weapon Master, which is cool because that means other decks probably can get access to these 2 might token units, but they just don't have their bonus effect that Azir gives them. Next we have Fiora. I think we talked about this briefly, but we never actually went over it. But this is a new Fiora, a new yellow Fiora. There's one that we had in set 1, but this is for set 2. This is when you play a unit, or when a unit you control becomes mighty, you may pay a yellow rune to ready it. So this helps you get a bit more aggressive because your units become mighty often in this deck. And this has no limit to it. So You may only get the trigger to ramp with the Legend Fiora once per turn, but this does not say once per turn. As long as you have yellow runes to recycle, you can go ahead and ready it, or gold to get rid of. You can go ahead and ready it. Next, you have Corina Veressa. Don't know how to say that. She is a seven cost, 1 recycle, 6 might character, pretty strong. With an accelerated cost. So she'll be at 8 and 2 recycles. But it says when I move to a battlefield, play 3 1 might recruit tokens here. Okay, so she makes more recruit tokens. Pretty cool. There is a I forget. I think it's a Legion something like this, where when it moves to a battlefield you play 1 recruit token with it, but this you get 3, and she has accelerated cost, so this can be extremely strong if you get up to those 8 runes. Next you have Azir, a champion unit finally for Azir. So you guys can start theory crafting decks with him if you guys want, but his effect is, or he has an accelerated cost. He is 4/4 with no recycles on basic, but he has an accelerated cost of when I attack, you may move any number of token units to this battlefield. Okay, that's interesting. So you pseudo get ganking if you've conquered with, say, your sand soldiers at another battlefield, and then pay this out accelerated, and then move into another battlefield, or start another combat into another battlefield, and then move your sand soldiers over from that battlefield to the one that this moved to, or even from your base if you just played out those sand soldiers this turn, and they're still tapped. As long as they're on the board, they move with him, or as long as he's attacking and they're on the board, to be specific, because if he's going into a empty battlefield, he is not attacking, which is very important. So his thing won't trigger. Next we have Xin Zhao. This is a champion unit, I guess just not for a legend we have yet. It's a tank, and it says I enter ready if you have 2 or more other units in your base. Interesting. So this is a bit of a sequencing that you should be aiming to do for this with the 3/4 with the tank. It's not bad at all. A bit of a aggressive tank. A lot of tanks we have in this game are more defensive, but this sort of wants to come out with units at your base so you all can attack together, which is interesting. Next we have the Under Titan. It's a cool name. It says when you play me, give other units +2 might this turn. All your other units, okay. And then as I'm revealed from your deck, add 2 energy cost. Okay, very, very cool card here. This is what I was talking about with reveals. So Rek'Sai, which is more than likely the deck this is going to be in, is I gotta go look them up now. Gosh dang it. Legends. Rek'Sai says when you conquer, you may exhaust me to reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play 1, then recycle the rest. So this guy sort of has the best of both worlds. So if he's revealed, you get that 2 energy, and then you can use that 2 energy for anything, because that just becomes floated energy. So even if you don't have 4 standing runes to pay the rest of his out, because think you have 2 already, so this is just 2 less if you want to play this one out to get his other effect. But even if you don't, you still get that because it's revealed. But he also has the when you play me, give your other units +2 this turn. So even if he's in your hand and not in your deck, so you draw into him, he still has somewhat of an effect and is not strictly bound by that revealed cost. There is one other card that I'm thinking of that has something similar, and that's what is his name? Good God, Donovan. Units, he's purple. Nocturne, that's his name. Yeah, Nocturne. It says when you look at cards on the top of your deck and don't draw them and see me, you may play me for 1 recycle. Okay, so this is a bit different because this one isn't revealed. So this actually doesn't have any synergies now that I think about it. Because this one is a reveal card, so it does give you that +2. But next we have Soraka. I think that's how you say it. It says I must be assigned combat damage last, so another unit much like Caitlyn. But it says if another unit you control here would die, if it has less might than me, instead heal it, exhaust it, and recall it. Okay, so this can keep your units alive, and or not, or keep them on the board. I shouldn't say alive. It'll keep them on the board because they will go back to your base and be exhausted. But it's also a yellow card, so you can even trigger this off your own effects, because it's just anytime a unit would die here. So you can use Blade of the Ruin King. Give this plus, what is it, +4? So she's an 8 might unit, so then any other units that's at that battlefield below 8 will be or can be saved by her, and it's no limit to this. Okay, okay, I guess that works. Yeah, there's no limit to this effect. So anything below 8, if you can get Blade of the Ruin King attached to it, will be recalled. But let's say you have something like there's nothing good here, because this doesn't really work well with it. But let's say you have something like I think it's called Soaring Scout. The death knell is when it dies, you channel a rune. I think that's it. It's either you channel rune or you draw one, but that's a 1 might unit. Let's say you kill that with Blade of the Ruin King and pay 1 to a 1 yellow recycle. You could then attach the Blade of the Ruin King to Soraka. The Blade of the Ruin King is +4, so the Soraka would be +4. 1, she gets assigned combat damage last, so it's very hard to get to her and deal with that 8 might. And her almost always will her ability trigger, because there are very few units that get to 8 might. So this can be a very, very strong card for keeping your units alive. Next we have Renata Glask, champion unit for her, which is good. And it says your tokens enter ready. Very simple effect, extremely good with Renata Glask. Like I said, her base effect is making gold gear tokens exhausted, but having those enter ready as you hold is extremely good. And this is a yellow card, so even outside of a Renata Glask deck, anything that creates units like this Versa, Verasa, I think it's like, I do not know how to say it, that makes 3 recruit tokens, will enter ready, so you can even move those around. They will go to that battlefield, but you can move those around if you want, or anything that just makes tokens. This is going to be extremely strong in a deck like that, but of course the best in a Renata Glask deck. Next we have a Rek'Sai unit, a Swarm Queen. Oh, I guess it's female. It says when I attack, you may reveal the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may play one, then recycle the rest. If the played card is a unit, you may play it here. Okay. Okay. So, I'm trying to think if this goes with this Ravenboom Conservatory. I don't think so though. Because this triggers on the attack. So you can grab spells out of here. You can grab anything out of here. But if you grab a unit out of here, it even helps you attack more. So this is a very, very strong swarm deck. It looks like, being able to play out other units. Now, more than likely, if you are attacking into something with more than 5 might, they will definitely try to kill this Rek'Sai, because I can see this getting out of hand very fast. Just, you know, getting more and more units from the top of your deck, instead of your hand, so you're hand positive for the most part. But you still pay the full cost. There is no cheating cards out with this effect. It is just still really strong. because it's also a reveal card. So just with the cards we went over, if you attack with this Rek'Sai and you reveal this, you then get you can get this out for 4 cost if you have it, or if you just want to use the energy and recycle this, you can play a spell maybe that you've revealed alongside with it. They're really strong there. Next we have Unsung Hero. Death Knell is if I was mighty, draw 2. So this also goes hand in hand with Fiora, with making your units mighty. And even better, it is 2 cost, so this is perfect for your starting curve, to have some units that you know will net you some positives later on. But it is 2 might, so it is a bit harder to get this to become mighty. My ideas, just looking at it, will probably be attaching a gear to it, a equipment gear to it, and that'll probably get it to 4, which is fine. And then using card effects like back to back, or what's the one that we just went over that we said sucked, Bonds of Strength, to push it up to 5, making it mighty. Maybe it'll still die and you still draw 2, but at least you're not like heavily, you're not having to buff it and attach a gear to it and do more stuff. So hopefully we can get this to 5 consistently, and on the surprise of your opponent. That seems to be the benefit to having a deck wanting to make units mighty, is you should have a lot of buffs or buffing power in hand, not buffs specifically, but just plus mites in hand, so that you can surprise your opponent in making your units mighty, thus ramping on your opponent's turn, or this you sort of want to do on your turn, but ramping on your opponent's turn. The other Fiora gains like deflect, a bunch of different effects, deflect, shield, ganking, all that you can gain on your opponent's turn, sort of surprising them with that. So cards like this, Death Knell, you also want to sort of surprise your opponent with, so they can think that they're trying to kill you early before you can trigger off the Death Knell effect. But if you can surprise them, maybe even have them waste units going against you, or they still kill you, but at least you draw the 2. Next we have Glass Missologist, another Death Knell card. It says you may play a unit with no cost more than 3 and no more than 1 recycle room from your trash, ignoring its cost. Okay, so when he dies, he can replace himself from the trash with a 3 or less. So that does not include the Renata Glass, unfortunately. It does hit the Fiora, which is nice. Does hit this Unsung Hero, but as of right now, that's all we can. The Xin Zhao as well. But it isn't a bad effect. It is also a 5/5, so it's a strong unit. It's already mighty, so it doesn't have that much. It loses its synergy with a Fiora deck, but it does gain it back with its Death Knell effect, because a lot of your units will be cheaper and lower power costed, because their mites will be matching that, so you can buff them up to be mighty. So a strange card here, but I'm sure there is use somewhere that I'm missing. Next we have Royal Guard. When you play me, play a 2 might Sand Soldier unit token here. So this is another way to play out Sand Soldiers without having to play out gears, because that is the stipulation to Azir's legend ability. You have to play a gear first, and then you can play the unit. Next we have this Draven. It's a new Draven, purple. He has deflect, and it says the first time I win a combat each turn, you score 1 point, and when I die in combat, choose an opponent, they score 1 point. Okay, so this is sort of this is a gambling card, because you can very much accelerate your points, which is good, especially with that other Draven where his might increase by your points. You can very much accelerate your points every time you win a combat, But you're putting things on the line, sort of betting that your opponent cannot win a combat against you, because then they will accelerate them points. But it's still a cool card either way. Cool idea, especially. Sort of putting a bet on the table like that. Next unit we have is Vex. It says while in combat, friendly spells cost 1 and 1 recycle less to a minimum of 1 energy. And enemy spells cost 1 and 1 recycle more. That is really strong. What? That is very strong. Oh well, she has to be in combat, so I guess it's not too bad if they just, you know, forcibly remove her. She becomes a high target. But 5 might is not too easy to get over. Need a couple spells to deal enough damage to her. Even still, she becomes a very high target to get off of the board, because you do not want to get that combat trigger, because it buffs me and negates you. That is a really strong card. J Murata, it's a funny name. Says when you choose me with the spell, draw 1. Okay. It's 5 and 2 recycles though. Not bad, especially for Irelia, to get that extra draw trigger while you're also choosing him. 2 recycles is a bit rough, but hopefully you can generate some gold with like the plunderer or whatever. When it moves, it generates a gold card, a gold token. So if you can generate some gold to reduce that power cost on your runes. Next we have Fizz. It says when you play me, you may play a spell from your trash with energy cost no more than 3, ignoring its energy cost. Recycle the spell after you play it. So this also helps you play spells from your trash. Actually really good in Annie. But also Irelia to get cards back out. It doesn't say anything about recycle cost. So maybe you can even get your signature spell to re-trigger with this. With energy cost no more than 3. The signature spell is only 1 cost for Irelia. This can be really strong with Irelia. It says you still must pay its power cost, so you actually can play it as long as it's under 3 energy. Really, really good there. But in, like I said, in Annie as well, in Jinx as well, that can be very strong. Next we have Windsinger. It's a hidden card, a hidden unit card. It says when you play me, you may return another unit at a battlefield with 3 might or less to its owner's hand. So it's a bit of a bounce. Bounce card for 2. To help you get out of a sticky situation or remove a enemy unit, maybe a small enemy unit that's at a battlefield, keeping away from something, to bounce that off the field. Next we have Loyal Pup. It says when you defend a battlefield, you may move me there. Okay, that's really good, because this has no stipulations, so this can go from battlefield to battlefield and from base to battlefield. So you just have 3 might moving around to help you with defense, if you want, and a good artwork. You gotta love a dog. Severe. Good lord, this is a long video. I'm so sorry. Severe. Ambitious. Deflect 2. She is 6 and 3 recycles. Like I said, gold really does help you out a lot. It says when I conquer after it's an orange card as well, so this actually can be triggered by this here ancient hinge to help you get around those costs. But let's get back to it. Her effect is when I conquer after an attack, if you assign 5 or more excess damage to enemy units, you may deal that much to an enemy unit. Okay, so after you conquer, if you've beaten your opponent by 5 extra damage. Oh, that's important. It's 5 excess damage, not 5 excess might. That's important because if you damage a card before a combat and it doesn't kill it, let's say you get a 5 might card down to 1, then you go in with this severe, you're dealing 7. You only used 1 of your damage, so you have 6 excess damage. So then you can apply that to another unit, and that can be anywhere. It's a really, really strong card here. Aggressive card here. And especially in a Lucian deck, which if you can attach a gear to it, an equipment gear to it, it will gain assault alongside of whatever buffs the gear gives to it. So that can be extremely strong. Next we have Jax. This is another champion unit for a new leader we have. It has Weapon Master, and it says when you attach an equipment to me, you may pay 1 to draw 1. So that's not bad at all. That's 4/3. Not the strongest card, but the Weapon Master does help a lot to attach a really strong equipment to it to buff it up even higher. Next we have Yone or Yone. I don't know. Also has Weapon Master. It says when I conquer an open battlefield, deal damage equal to my might to an enemy unit in a base. Okay. So this Weapon Master can go hard. It's already a 5/5, so giving it just simple equipment can buff it up by 2. So if you conquer an open battlefield with this, it just deals 7 to a unit at a base. So this sort of helps you target decks that retreat units a lot, or plays that retreat units a lot, so your Yone can still attack into it. Very interesting card here because it has to be open, and he has to conquer it. Okay, yeah, very interesting there. We got Kato the Arm. Has deflect, and your opponent, and his effect is when I move to a battlefield, give a friendly unit my keywords and plus might equal to my might this turn. That's weird. So does this? Oh well, no, I'm sorry. So the keywords is just a deflect, and then his might. So you can buff somebody for +3 might, and give it deflect. Keywords is not the effect, so this only happens once. But if you do have like gears attached to it, I wonder if any gears give certain keywords. Maybe there's something in the other cards that give him even more keywords that he can give, because that's very specifically worded, because he only has 1 keyword on his card. I'm assuming there's other gears that will give him more keywords that can be passed on to other units for this turn, like his card says, and the might as well. So the might from a gear plus this 3 that is printed on the card, plus the deflect, plus whatever effect the gear may have. Very strong combo card here. Jewelfish. Is that how you say that? Jewelfish? It's a funny word. 7 and 2 recycles for 6 might. Has accelerate, and then I cost 2 less for each of your mighty units. Okay, so this is good, and or this can be good, or a buff for low-key my dragons build for Volibear. It costs 2 less. It's not a dragon, so you can't get the even 2 less from the Herald of Scales, but this costing 5 isn't bad at all. So yeah, a little bit of a buff. It is also a mighty unit, so it will trigger the Volibear effect. The reason why I say I'm not counting this for Fiora, because it starts mighty, so it can work in there, but might work better in a different deck. Next we have Yordle Explorer. When you play a card with a power cost of 2 or more, or 2 recycled runes or more, draw 1 card. Okay, so a little bit of bonus effects after you play a card with a power cost of 2 recycles. Not bad. Also a 4/4, which is not a bad stat line. Next we have a Veteran Poro. It has Weapon Master. Okay. So they're continuing the Poro effects. I was joking about this before. This is a side tangent, and I do not have time for side tangents. We are at an hour, gang. But they should make a Braum leader, where it's like the every Poro you have has the effect of every other Poro in play. That would be so goofy and busted because they're all 2/2s. But it'll be so goofy and probably could get busted if they keep doing stuff like this. So maybe that's out the window. All right, let's lock in. 4/4 warm recycle for Dauntless Vanguard. When you play me, or you may play me to an occupied enemy battlefield. Okay, so it's sort of like a small what's the one that hunts my nightmares? That's in all the Dazzling Aura decks. I'm forgetting what it's called. Dreadbloom something. That can also be played to an enemy battle or to any battlefield. I don't think it has to be enemy battlefield. This one specifies enemy battlefield. So you can just surprise maybe a smaller unit here because it's only a 4/4, so it's not like you're going to completely overtake a battlefield just by playing this out. But yeah, we have Buru Captain. It says when you play me, you may draw one or buff me. Okay, that's not bad. For 3 and a recycle, yeah, that's not bad at all. Ornn champion unit, so this will go to the legend that we have for this set. He has deflect 2 and weapon master, and it says I have +1 for each friendly gear. That can get dangerous. Oh lord. There's a lot of gears that's going to be coming out this set, and this is just each gear. It's not even just equipments. So each of your equipments and whatever other gears you're running in an Ornn deck will add to his might. And he's already at a deflect 2 with no recycles. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous card right there. Okay, we have Jace for you arcane fans like me. Jace, Man of Progress. It says when you play me, you may kill a friendly gear. If you do, you may play a gear with an energy cost no more than 7 from hand this turn, ignoring its energy cost. That's there's nothing here that you really want that for. I mean, this is very important because you can kill a gold gear token and cheat out something for 7. But I don't know what exactly what gear it's targeting. Maybe it hasn't been revealed yet. I can't think of any blue gears that's that high in energy cost, but it's still strong nonetheless. And this is any gear, not just equipment. Next we have Ezreal, another champion unit for another leader that we're getting the set. It says when I attack or defend, deal damage equal to my might to an enemy unit here, and then I don't deal combat damage. And then at action speed, you can move me to your base. That's interesting. And also this is what I think might be the first unit with an action speed ability. So this can happen during combat to get him back to your base. But that's an interesting card. So he's not really there to so he can conquer. He does have a defensive might, but you are supposed to retreat him as often. Let me read his legend ability. Does that have something to do with it? It seems very specific. Oh, oops. Excuse me. It seems very specific. What does he say? Reaction, draw 1 only if you've chosen enemy units and or gear twice this turn with spells or unit abilities. Okay, so this can trigger one of his choosing a unit. So you attack with him, and you've chosen a unit once. So then you can move him back to base for recycle blue, and draw a card. That doesn't seem too strong though. That seems like a lot of steps for just drawing a card. But hey, I've been wrong before. He does deal damage equal to his might, so if you can get him buffed in any sort of way, or get your units debuffed, because this is blue, so they do have a lot of unit debuffing cards, and those also choose. So cards like Smokescreen, it gives them the -2, and then attacking him with this Ezreal, to choose him again. not -2, -4 smokescreen does, and then dealing 3 might to it usually will kill something that's 7 might, and then at action speed before combat damage is even dealt, you can move him back to your base, protecting him while still removing a unit. So that can be strong. And that'll be the second time you've chosen a enemy unit, so you will draw one off of your legend effect. Still seems like a lot of steps, but we'll see. Next you have Bard. Another champion unit, just we don't have a leader for him yet. So 4/4 with 1 recycle says you may exhaust your legend as an additional cost to play me. When you play me, if you pay the additional cost, move any number of your units to an open battlefield. Okay, so you can force some moves with this Bard by exhausting your legend. That's a really cool concept, to exhaust your legend outside of their own abilities. It's probably will go extremely well in units that, or in legends that don't care if they're exhausted. Let's see any blue legends that don't care if they're exhausted. Sort of like this, maybe even this Teemo. You can move some units early so that you can start hiding cards with this effect, because he doesn't have to be stand, or yet he can use that effect while being exhausted. This one kind of cares. She doesn't care as much. This is just a static effect anytime it happens. This is also a static effect anytime it happens. This you do want her standing. Yeah, all of these you want standing to trigger their abilities. But yeah, it's just something that you can try to do. That's a cool card and concept, to sort of have an effect on every legend as long as you play this card. We have Prize of Progress. It's a mech card, so it goes well with, and it's blue, so it goes well with your Rumble. It says when you use an activated ability of a gear, give me +1 in this turn. Okay, activated ability. So I'm assuming that's like tap abilities of a gear. Let's see. That wouldn't count. This would count. When you play a spell on the opponent's turn. Actually, no. I think no, because if it was tap abilities, it would have used that sign. So maybe this counts. But it'll buff up this Prize of Progress +1 this turn. And this is any time that is used. So this can go up. This can get really strong, depending on how many activated abilities you have. We have another mech here, Breakneck Mech, for 8 and 2 recycles with 7 might. It says your mechs have deflect and ganking. I enter ready if you control another mech. That is strong. That is very strong. This will make your mechs extremely dangerous, especially in the all these decks sound so fun. Oh man. Okay, we gotta move on. Frostclaw Cub. You may pay a blue recycle as an additional cost to play me. When you play me, if you pay the additional cost, give a unit -2 this turn. So this is, like I said, so you can get some might reductions on your opponents here. Another mech here, Bubblebot. When you play me, ready a friendly mech. Already another friendly mech. Okay, so this helps you get a bit more aggressive. It is a red and blue deck, the Rumble is, so this helps you with your aggression in there. But it's specified to mech, unlike the orange card that just readies any other unit. Aspiring Engineer. When you play me, return a gear from your trash to your hand. I knew there was going to be a card that returns gear from trash to hand. I was just wondering when it would be shown, so I guess it's here. Is this? I don't know why this looked like the girl Victor was messing with in season 1 of Arcane. I think it's the hair. Yeah, I guess it's only in blue. That's weird. There's probably more to come later. I doubt that'll be an exclusively blue thing to return gear from trash to hand, because I feel like what's actually the one that really needs it is red and purple, because the only gear that's temporary so far, or the only equipment that's temporary so far, is Spinning axis. That's the one those will be that will be dying consistently. This can get any gear, so it'll be good to grab things like Sonia's and Guardian Angel to get those back in hand. But I thought it would be better in a red or purple deck. Next, we have Tiana Crown Guard. She has Deflect, and then while I'm at a battlefield, opponents can't score points. This seems crazy. You simply have to get rid of this card if your opponent plays it, but it has Deflect. She is only 4 might, so she can't, you know, just be at a battlefield alone and be untouchable, but or not untouchable. Untouchable is the wrong word. You know, hard to attack into. Like, she's not even a mighty unit. But with things like gears, to buff up mites just by attaching them and buffs in this game, this is a very difficult card to get behind. It literally just stops your opponent from getting a chance to win. So very strange that this was invented, especially the fact that she has Deflect. Now, if she had I must be assigned combat damage last or something, I can get behind that. But Deflect is kind of crazy, because you want to nuke this card. If you see this card, you want to nuke this card, in one way or another. So if she's hiding behind like tanks, like I said, with gears that buffs her might, with cards like I said, Guardian Angel, like Zonia's, so that she comes right back after you kill her once. This can be very dangerous to get out of the game. Next, you have another Ornn. It says, when you play me or when I hold, look at the top 4 cards of your main deck. You may reveal a gear among them and draw it, then recycle the rest. So this is just a top 4 searcher for gears, which is pretty good when you play it and when it holds. So that's pretty good card to consistently get your gears out, especially for the Ornn deck, which that is his whole leader ability. And the next we have Needlessly Large Yordle, which is funny. 10 energy cost. I don't know why the 10 looks so weird. 3 recycles, 5 might. As shield 5 and then tank, it says I cost 2 and 1 recycle less for each point you scored from holding this turn. Okay, so you can reduce his cost a lot just by holding. If you're holding 1, he will be at 8 with 2 recycles. If you're holding both, he is a 6 and 1 recycle, which is really strong. I was like, 10 and 5 sounds crazy, but I understand now. It's because you can reduce his cost a lot. So if you can hold both, this can be extremely strong. And if you're playing in a 3-man or 4-man, if you're holding all 3, that's 6 also. It's 4. Yeah, it's just 4, a 4/5 with shield 5 and tank. So that means he can definitely be nuked by damage spells, but very hard to attack into. Next we have Jax, another champion unit for Jax. It says it has Deflect, and then each equipment in your hand has Quick Draw. That's really good. That's really good. It gives each equipment reaction speed and a free attach. That's really good. What was the other Jax ability? Wasn't it also have something to do? Oh no, it's not too crazy. But this is, yeah, that's nuts. This might be the better one, I think. Next we have another Azir. Okay, this one also has an action speed character effect. So it's a 6/6 with 1 recycle, and then you can recycle 1 for an action speed spell. It says, choose a unit you control, move me to its location, it to my original location. If it's equipped, you may attach one of its equipments to me, only use once per turn. Okay, so yeah, this is only once per turn thing, but you can move units around and move equipments around, so that's cool. Next we have Aphelios. Another champion unit, just we don't have a leader yet. It says when you attach an equipment to me, choose one that hasn't been chosen yet this turn. Ready 2 runes, channel 1 rune exhausted, or buff a friendly unit. That's not bad at all. To get your equipment, especially ready 2 runes. There's not a lot of cards or there's not a lot of cards or effects that ready 2 runes on your main phase. So that can be, or ready runes at all on your main phase, let alone 2. So that can be really, really strong. And you can ramp or buff friendly units. So this is just a good card. It might just be a staple for anything that's running equipment. Next we have Stellarhorn or Herder. This is when I move, draw 1 card. Really, really good. Especially in green, you can put this in a lot of in a movement deck like the Yaswona I built. You can just draw a lot off Herd effect and off spells. Royal Entourage, when you play me, ready or exhaust a legend. So this can be your opponent's legend, or you can ready your own. That's cool. Especially up against decks like Kaisa, who are, probably waiting for you to make a move so they can cast a spell, or expecting them that extra rune to cast a spell against you. Either forcing them to recycle what they didn't want to recycle, or just not playing that spell out because they're down a resource. As you have another Rek'Sai, it's very low quality, but it's fine. His Breacher, he has an accelerated cost, he has Assault 1, and then friendly units played anywhere other than the player's hand have Accelerate. That's really good, because you can trigger off your effects with your leader effect, and then if you could play a unit from your leader effect, it will also have Accelerate. That's pretty good. This is just a 3/3 base as well. So that can be really, really strong. Next we have Dunebreaker. It says if you have 2 or fewer cards in hand, I enter ready. When I hold, draw 2. That's I wonder what really gets that low in hand size. I mean, red decks can, because they have a lot of damage spells that you're probably slinging around. But when he holds, draw 2, so you can get back into the game. That's not bad. But it's a 7/7. You can enter ready if you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand. Rengar, another champion unit, has reaction speed and assault 2. I can be played to a battlefield you're attacking. So yeah, it's just a reaction unit to add 5 might to a push that you're going for. It's not bad at all. Next we have Rail, magnetic. You know what? I just now realized we played a game before with what's the other one? I think it's Shen. He also has the reaction tag, but it does not say that he can be played to a battlefield you're attacking, but we definitely did that. I guess that is specifically, it has to be specifically stated, because it's not a spell. So technically, this can only go around that effect because, or the Shen has reaction and tank because you're supposed to be controlling that battlefield. Thus, you can play cards to a battlefield you control. But if you're attacking, you don't control that battlefield, so that reaction tag doesn't mean he can be played directly there. I'm just now realizing that. But that's good to know. Anyways, Rel. Tank, when I attack, you may play an equipment. You may play an equipment with the energy cost no more than 2, ignoring its cost, and attach it to me. Okay, so this can cheat out your spinning axis. What is it? Longsword. Those are the 2 red ones that I'm thinking of right now. And it also has the tank tag, so all the damage has to be assigned to this first. So another aggressive tank in this set, rather than defensive tanks. We have the Ferocious Forerunner, another mech, 6/6, and the death knell is play 2 3 mech unit tokens to your base. Okay, so another unit token type with the mech. So this will also be buffed by your rumble effect, but this is also just strong. So you can move in with, or this can die for 6 and you just create 6 more might in your base. So you sort of get 2 of these, but the next ones you can split. That's cool. Void Hatchling says, if you reveal cards from your deck, look at the top 2 cards first. You may recycle it, then reveal those cards. Oh, that's nutty. Oh, that's nutty. So you can get 4 cards deep into your deck without losing any to the trash. That is really good. That is really good. If you would reveal, so you can look at the cards. Look at the top card for just one card, so you can get 3 cards in. That's still good. Yeah, so you can get 3 cards in. If you have 2 of these on the field, I guess you can trigger. You can, get 4 cards deep, like I said, but you only look at the top card, and then you may recycle it if you want, and then you can reveal the top 2. Okay, that's not bad. Or I'm saying reveal the top 2 because of that's a rec size effect. Next, we have Void Drone. It says, I cost 2 less to play anywhere other than your hand. So this can cost 1. Oh, it's 1/3. It's still 1/3. It's not bad, especially with Rek'Sai. When you reveal it, just paying the 1. So that seems to be, especially if you can get accelerate. That seems to be how Rek'Sai is going to work. Not to cheat out a bunch of big bodies, but cheat out a bunch of bodies that should be big. But if they're triggered off of his reveal effect, they have they get cheaper or a secondary effect, which is really cool. And then finally, the last unit, and good lord, 1 hour and a half, we have is the Gem Jammer. It says, when you play me, give a unit ganking this turn. Okay, that's pretty anticlimactic to end on, but that is all the units we have today. So far, this set looks crazy. Like I said, I think I really want to build a Fiora deck. Rek'Sai looks very, very cool. I probably want to build that too. And then Irelia, because I gotta have a move deck. Oh, is there oh, there's new alternate arts for these Rek'Sai. That looks sick. Okay, this one sort of matches the Fiora one. I wonder if there's a reason behind that. Yeah, these, oh, they're just by the same artist, except for this one. Yeah, this one's by a different artist. This one's by a different artist too. These 2 are by the same. NVR Studios, so that's this guy. Oh, but it looks sick. Everything looks sick. Everything looks fun. I'm going to be so broke. You already know the deal. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a long one. I should have told you all to grab some snacks, but I will see you all on the next episode.